Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the live stream, my name is Randall. This is the McClures. We react, review, we make fun of, we laugh at stuff over here. Links down in the description if you want to help support the channel. And shopmcclures.com is the website. If you want to buy quality American products, go check it out. See if we got anything that you want or need. And if we don't, we have car soap. You need to wash your dirty ass car. You could at least get that. We will be adding stuff to the store. We do take recommendations on products you would like to see at the store. So if you have anything, let me know. We are getting into a James Klug video today. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he does a lot of man on the street stuff. He's got really, really good man on the street videos. So he is, he's definitely killing it on the reaction space. I think he's based out of California, so he's able to get a lot of liberal reactions, which makes for good content. But this video series that he's putting out here is Does Systemic Racism Exist? Part 1. There is a part 2 to this, so if you guys enjoy this video and you want to see me do part 2, let me know, and we'll put that one out as well. But I will shut up. Let's get into this. Does systemic racism exist? The answer is no, but let's see what they say. Let's see what they say.
Everything that's going on in Florida right now.
You mean illegal immigration, or are you talking about legal immigration?
Both. He doesn't want people of our color.
When we talk about systemic, we more of mean like the institutions
That was a white chick, right?
within America, laws.
Not at all.
No.
I wouldn't say not any laws. No laws in place. No like proof in the pudding.
What's going on, everyone? James Klug here. It seems as though race baiters will do literally everything they can to convince the public that people of color are systemically oppressed. But does systemic racism actually exist? And if so, what is it? Today I'm joined by Lisa Reynolds, and we are in Laguna Beach to find out. Lisa, you ready to get going?
I'm ready.
Let's go talk to some people.
Lisa Reynolds is a giant. Or James is really short. I don't know. But Lisa's a tall one. She's a tall one. I've seen her in, I think, 2 of his videos now. So I wonder if she's a new member to the team. And if he's going around with her, you know what I mean? Like, is he going to go off the streets and send her out in his place? And this is like her tester videos? I'm curious. I'm curious.
Huge shout out to our friends over at Tiege Hanley for sponsoring this video. Okay, so 2023, today. Does systemic racism exist?
Absolutely, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think absolutely.
Okay.
Of course, it is one of our main tenets. Is the level of racism and hate that we have.
I believe that's true.
Yes.
He just said one of the main tenets of America is the level of racism. Like, they do know that this is the country who was founded on all men were created equal. Like, we fought a war and killed each other to hold up to that standard. We're the most integrated melting pot country that's ever existed. But yet we're still the most racist? This is... People live in a fucking delusion. This is crazy.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't say that that's a huge problem at this time in 2023.
Anyone disagree with these two or no?
No. She's my wife. I disagree with her.
Oh, okay. Systematically, when it comes to our institutions,
I think he disagreed
or laws
just
or
to
anything
disagree.
Like that,
He doesn't
are they
actually
in place
disagree.
to discriminate against Asian, black people, Indians, white people.
Ever heard of redlining?
Right. I definitely agree that systemic racism existed in the past. To date, does it exist?
I would say yes.
It's kind of blown out of proportion a little bit.
See, but even redlining. Was redlining racism? Because all black-owned banks were using the same red lines. So was it racism? Or was it business? I'm curious. I don't know much about redlining. I haven't dived into that topic. From my understanding, It was if you were from certain areas, it was hard for you to get loans. They say if you were black trying to buy a house in a certain area. That's how redlining's been put off to me. But from my understanding, it's more of a banks didn't want to qualify low-income people to get loans because they don't pay their loans. But I don't know. If you guys know more about redlining, let me know. Or a good video about it, let me know. We'll get into it.
Yeah, like if you look at what's really happening, it's like the best it's ever been for everybody, you know?
Could you guys do your best to define systemic racism, just to make sure that I can understand what you think, what you believe it is?
Basically, it's already inbred in the system that there's going to be prejudice against a certain class of people, no matter what.
So there's policies, institutions that are against people of color?
Yes.
It really is a structural part of our society. It's not something like I dislike that person.
What system or policy would you guys point to that would be an example of that, would you say? Policing?
Policing for sure. Yeah.
Housing.
Housing?
Win a trip for two to Miami Beach, including air and hotel for the U.S. Army Salute Fest, the most amazing Memorial Day weekend ever. The U.S. Army Salute Fest.
Stuff I see online where, like, you know, the police and what they be doing, you know, I base it on that only.
You base it on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do
So I base all my decisions off of one-sided propaganda that I see. That makes sense. It's a smart move.
you think some people are blowing that out of proportion, in your opinion?
I mean, there's always a political agenda type of deal with that, but I think it's just kind of, people don't think for themselves, you know, just going along with what everyone else is thinking in the social media and all that.
Everything that's going on in Florida right now.
But that's mostly like transgender stuff, right? There's no real race laws going on in that, so.
Well, I guess my question would be, what race
Well,
laws can we look at that we
immigration
can improve on, do you
laws-
think?
The immigration laws that they're doing in Florida right now is to curb people of color coming in. It's not just the transgender. He is attempting to curb immigration coming in.
Does this dumb fat bitch also realize that immigration laws affect people from white countries also? Or when she thinks of immigrants, she only thinks of black and brown people? Yeah, I don't know how the fucking logic train is trucking around some of these
You
fucking
know, illegal
people's
immigration, or are
heads.
you talking about legal immigration?
Both. He doesn't want people of our color, not of our color, in the state.
How so, do you think? Housing, do you think?
After the war, I guess when World War II, when they came home and basically they made the GI Bill, it wasn't spread out for everybody.
Today, 2023, not, you know, we know that
it still exists today.
what, like redlining or?
Redlining.
Redlining was banned in the, it was banned in the 80s, and it's illegal today.
That doesn't mean anything.
That it's illegal?
Yeah. I mean, it's illegal, but it doesn't mean anything. People still do it.
Those would be criminals. Those people would go to jail. All right, everyone, let's take a few moments to talk about today's sponsor, Tiege Hanley. They help men start and maintain a skincare routine by simplifying the entire process. And honestly, you guys, I never knew anything about skincare.
We're gonna get back to it, bro.
That link down below and get started today. Let's get back to the video.
Police immediately comes to mind because that's such an anomaly. You have white police forces that are policing black communities.
Actually, most black communities have majority black police forces, including black police chiefs and black mayors and such.
In many of the
What's going on there if that's the case? If that's the case, what's going on there?
Many larger, but just remember that some of the problems with policing aren't always racial based. A lot of the problems with policing are institutional based.
So that's what I'm saying.
Just because there's a black policeman, it doesn't mean that once he puts on a uniform, he begins to accept a very different outlook toward the people he's policing.
Just look at who many of the mayors, police chiefs.
This guy literally just said that black people, once they put on the uniform, they also become racist against blacks. What? What? Fucking people. Fucking
District
people.
attorneys, leaders are in this country.
Yeah. A lot of minorities.
Yeah. So I would think if it was systematic racism, those jobs, those people would not be in those positions.
Do you guys think if there's a black police chief, if there's a black mayor, majority police force is minority, are they still serving the purpose of what? Racism, you think, possibly?
Well, I think they're human beings, and I think every human being, even no matter what their job is going to bring their own spin to what they're doing. But legally, they have to obey the law.
If it was systematic, then those.
Right, but his question is, if the entire police force is black, the mayor's black, the police chief is black, the city council's black, 80% of the residents of the town are black, is it still racism? Because you guys say yes. It's those damn black white supremacist. Supremacist? I don't know.
Those people would, by virtue of this system, be locked out. And the fact is that there's all kinds of people in those positions, which tells me that it couldn't be.
What policy are we referring to more so, would you say? That you're talking about there? Which one is that? I guess we could look it up.
Well, any of the, United States immigration policies in general, I think, are discriminatory because the bulk of the illegal immigration that we have coming in comes in from airplanes, not at the border. So trying to stop.
Dude, this bitch doesn't know fucking anything. Like, it's literally, that's the problem with America. Americans are walking around so fucking dumb and ignorant of the facts. They base all their decisions off of bullshit. Bullshit. 67% from Mexico and Central America. Crazy.
Stuff at the border and people at the border, it's just a small part of what the actual issue and the real issue is. And the biggest illegal immigrants that we have.
See, I didn't realize the number for Mexico was still so high. I thought the number of immigrants from Mexico had dramatically gone down. But not if there's still 48 fucking %. That ain't down. That's crazy.
Hello?
Hello.
I found some.
Are from Europe.
Both a visa overstay and stuff, that would be illegal as well. But that's just immigration policy. Doesn't every single country have that? Like, you can't go across a country's border illegally and enter their country. Every country has that. Is that systemic racism?
But when you focus on one particular area of illegal immigration and not the others, you're focusing here on the border and saying this is where the problem is. But that's not where the problem is. The problem is.
Well, there's about 200,000 people, over 200,000 people coming across the southern border every single month. So, it is a problem for sure.
We've had record number of people trying
Yes.
to cross the southern border. But a lot of the problem that we're seeing at the border, too, is there's a humanitarian crisis happening, too. And we're having record numbers of fentanyl coming over. There's children that are dying at the border. There's kids that are drowning. They're being human trafficked down there. So it's like a humanitarian crisis down there at the border, too. And I think that's why there's a lot of focus on it that's not really talked about too much.
Okay.
What example would you give of people still doing it, do you think?
Real estate, people doing, basically looking at a house and doing in a black neighborhood versus a white neighborhood. And then you have the appraisers coming to the black neighborhood. They give the less value on a black neighborhood house than they would if it's the same house, same square footage, everything.
Would it be a nicer neighborhood or worse neighborhood that would affect the value of that, do you think, or no?
No. But we live in.
Yeah, we live in North Orange County, though.
If we drive down Euclid to Anaheim, price of value goes.
But isn't that just with everything?
No.
That happens all the time. Like, even in mine, if you live in Newport or Laguna or whatever, if you drive down the street, homes might be $15 million. Is that discrimination that's taking place there, or are they just worth different amounts of money because that's how property works?
Discrimination again, because what do you call Anaheim anti-crime?
We call it anti-crime, even though Disneyland's there. There's a lot of crime in Anaheim.
But that's the difference. It's not like a racist thing. It's a crime thing.
Right. Which is why the houses are cheaper in Anaheim. Because you may get robbed in your driveway. Like, why are people so fucking dumb? Seriously, I want one of these fucking liberals to have an actual opinion based on something that makes sense. There's definitely racism because I can see the black neighborhood over there that has a lot of crime. The houses that are the same as mine are worth less. What the fuck? How dumb are you people?
Socioeconomic issue.
For the value of those homes that are closer, even if in the slightest bit, closer to where that's happening.
It definitely would and has, because we live in and our values are double than what they are in Anaheim.
I mean, if anything, that sounds like you guys are getting benefited. So are you guys are the maybe Hispanic people that are in Anaheim getting discriminated against versus you guys?
Yes,
Wow.
definitely.
But we
So
just
I'm
talked
saying
about how there was
no.
gangs over there,
No,
so that
but-
would hurt the value.
yeah.
I think policing is an interesting one to choose because what part of it would you give as an example of it being systemically racist? Then let's say we can use Los Angeles. We have a black mayor. I believe we have a white police chief. We have a Hispanic sheriff, and then we have a minority LAPD. What about that would be systemically racist? Would you say?
I can't, unfortunately, I'm from the East Coast, so I can't necessarily make a comment on
Let's
on
grab
LA.
a police department over there. What do you want to grab onto? We can grab on Chicago or
Chicago. I don't.
Yeah, Chicago's all black. New York Police Department's all black. You still call them systemically racist. Oh god, the logic train, bro, is not
if
chewing.
Chicago, I don't think Chicago is predominantly black police force.
does it have to be predominantly black or even a majority to not be systemically racist? Does it have to be that way?
The problem is, and this goes to the issue is when you say systemic racism, there's a lot of examples of systemic racism. Policing is much more complicated.
You haven't
not
given
only
one.
have systemic racism, but you have a we-they mentality
What is
which overlays.
systemically racist about it?
Well, if you are a black policeman or a policeman and you're going to high crime areas, and it's not unusual, a lot of these high crime areas are black areas. So you're going to start to develop certain...
Love your content. Thanks, brother.
Hey, thanks for watching. Thank you.
You're going to start to develop certain defense mechanisms just by the very fact that every day you may be arresting people and
This guy doesn't realize his own comment, right? He's like, the black areas are so heavily policed. And his own comment, he was like, well, the police are going to go to the high crime areas, which are, well, they're black areas, so. My God, what are you talking about?
and maybe 8 out of 10 of them are black. So you start to develop your own, not necessarily prejudice, but certain preconceived
Why
notions.
would 8 out of 10 of them be black? You're saying because it's a black neighborhood?
It tends to be black neighborhood. We know that crime tends to be higher in those areas. There's a lot of reasons for it.
When it comes to the police, do you believe that the police are systemically racist? Do you think that Laguna Beach police maybe are systemically racist?
I mean, I wouldn't say police in general. I say certain people. You can't just blame everything on, one specific group, I just believe that there's certain people that are bad out there in the world that, just judge people off of the race or whatever might be the case,
And I definitely agree. I mean, there's going to be individuals out there that are racist, whether they hate Hispanics, white people, black people. I mean, I was just talking to a lady the other day that hates white people and saying that she was racist. The conversation today is more around systemic racism. Like, are there laws in place that are against those people? Or do you just think that there's individual people that just happen to be holes?
Yeah, individual people, bro.
If you're a policeman in those
Individual
areas,
assholes.
you're going to start to become desensitized to that.
I personally subscribe to the JLP philosophy. I don't know if you guys know who Jesse Lee Peterson is. Racism does not exist. This is the philosophy I subscribe to. I like his thought on this. Says racism does not exist. There's good and evil. There's right and wrong. Racism is literally a word made up by civil rights leaders in order to divide people during the civil rights movement. It's just a way to separate people. But actual racism doesn't exist. There's good and bad. There's right and wrong. I like that philosophy. Shout out JLP.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably make that point to almost any community when it comes to, oh, if I'm arresting majority Middle Eastern people in this area, or majority white people, or majority Asian, or whatever it is, right? 2023, does systemic racism exist?
I don't think so. There's always going to be some, but not like it used to be.
Yeah, when we talk about systemic, we more of mean like the institutions within America, laws.
So. Not at all.
No.
I wouldn't say not any laws, no laws in place, no like proof in the pudding.
What side of the aisle do you think has the political agenda that's pushing that that systemic racist narrative?
I would say it's probably more on the liberal end.
That's
yeah,
good.
I would say probably more on the liberal end.
That wasn't a trick question, bro. Who is pushing the lie about systemic racism? It's definitely the libtards. It's definitely the libtards. Divide and conquer. That is the Marxist way. So therefore, that is the libtard way. The libtards are Marxist, communist, socialist. This is their governing philosophy. This is how they operate their lives. This is what they do. Shout out James Klug. Does systemic racism exist? Part 1. There is a part 2 out there. If you guys like this video, if you liked my reaction, and you want to see part 2, let me know down in the description. Maybe we'll get to it on the next live. If you want to support the channel, links are down in the description. We, of course, take donations. YouTube doesn't pay me anything, and we are trying to make this a job. My other job, shopmcclures.com, is a website I started to sell quality American products. That I'm hoping will kick off as well. But for now, we're using it to provide a place where you guys can show support and help me out and get something in return instead of just giving me $1 because you like the video. You can go buy something you need for your house or buy a gift for somebody and help out an American family because the products are made in America. Help out me because I get a tiny percentage. But everything on the website is very reduced. We don't have huge profit margins built in or anything like that. The whole point of the website is to be able to offer American products to Americans so we can help support the country. But I appreciate you guys stopping by for that one. Links in the description if you want to help out, and come visit us live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 3:30 to 5:30, rumble.com/McClures. I appreciate it. Later, bye.